on the Hawkeyes Sports Network. From Learfield, Iowa Hawkeye Softball is brought to you by Homewood and Home 2 Suites, preferred hotel of the Hawkeye Radio Network. Iowa's corn farmers of the Iowa Corn Growers Association and the Iowa Corn Promotion Board. When corn grows Iowa, Iowans win. Oak Knoll, an active life care community by University of Iowa Healthcare. Changing medicine, changing lives. Wimmer's Meats, the official hot dog of the Hawkeyes. And by Iowa City Tire and Service, a proud supporter of Hawkeye softball. Iowa City Tire, where service actually...
Live from Eichelberger Field in Champaign, Illinois, it's time for playoff softball. It is your Iowa Hawkeyes against the Maryland Terrapins in round one of the Big Ten tournament. Hi, everybody. My name is Lucas Strain, and you're listening to Iowa Softball on the Hawkeye Radio Network. Iowa is serving as the 9 seed in the single elimination bracket after finishing 30-26 on the season, 10-13 in Big Ten play. Head coach Renee Gillespie is in her 5th season with the Hawkeyes and has led the Hawks back to the Big Ten tournament for the first time in a couple of years. She has also helped 2 Hawkeyes win Big Ten honors. It was announced earlier today. 2 Hawkeyes getting named to Big Ten teams. Nia Carter was selected as a first-team All-Big Ten member and also earned the team's Big Ten Sportsmanship Award. Carter is a California native, leads the conference in batting average, hitting .479. Also leads the Big Ten in hits with 92 of them. She ranks 2nd in the nation for hits and 4th in batting average. She was one of 4 Hawkeyes to start every single game this season, all 56 of them, starting each and every game out in right field. She led the team in scoring this year with 37 runs scored in a .523 OBP. In the Big Ten, she is statistically the toughest batter to strike out and is one of just 7 players who struck out less than 8 times this year. She was also named the Big Ten Player of the Week once already this season. Carter is currently tied for 2nd most hits in a single season at Iowa with 92. She recorded 29 multi-hit games this year and had a hit in 46 out of 56 games. Those 92 hits this season have helped her ranked 8th all-time in career hits for the Hawkeyes. That's one of the 2 players named to all Big Ten teams. The other one is Jalen Adams. Jalen Adams voted to the All-Freshman as an honoree. Adams from Fort Dodge, Iowa. The true freshman led the team with a 2.04 ERA on the season. Her ERA is the 7th best in the conference. Appeared in 31 games with 26 starts. She threw 8 complete games, including a complete game shutout against Syracuse on February 18th. She was the only one who really pitched well last weekend for the Hawkeyes. Nia Carter is Iowa's first All-Big Ten team selection since Megan Blank in 2015. Adams is the 3rd Hawkeye in 3 years to earn All-Freshman accolades. The other 2 to have done so were Briley Klosterman and Denali Lecker in 2021. Both players who are in the starting lineup for today's game against the Hawkeyes. If you hadn't noticed, the game got pushed back just a little bit. As in Big Ten play, we're playing on the same field, Eichelberger Field, here in Champaign, Illinois. 2 games have already finished. The top seeds have won in both of the first 2 games today. Iowa looks to become the first team to upset the home squad in this tournament. The 6th-ranked Ohio State Buckeyes defeated 11th-ranked Rutgers 7-4 in Game 1. In a game that just finished, Penn State defeated Michigan in a low-scoring affair. Final score 3-2. This game between Maryland and Iowa, the winner advances to play the number 1 team in the conference, the Northwestern Wildcats. If we look at how the Hawkeyes have done recently, they've lost 4 straight, including getting swept last weekend by Wisconsin. They scored just 1 run over 19 innings at the plate. Were shut out in Game 1, 3-0. In Game 2, they were mercy ruled 9-0 in 4.5 innings. And then in Game 3, they finally scored their first run of the series in a 3-1 loss. It was the 8th straight time in which the Wisconsin Badgers had defeated the Iowa Hawkeyes. In that series, Jalen Adams was really the star and really was the only one who did well pitching for the Hawkeyes. Adams, in the 2 games, she started Games 1 and Game 3, so Friday and Sunday. She went the complete game in both of them, finished going 12 innings pitched while giving up just 3 earned runs. Nia Carter went 3 for 8 at the plate, had a hit in all 3 games, and drove in the only run of the series for the Hawkeyes. Brianna Klosterman was the one who scored the only run of the series. She had a hit in each of the last 2 games. A single on Saturday, a single on Sunday, and Denali Lecker was the only Hawkeye to tally a multi-hit game. She had a pair of hits on the first game on Friday, the only Hawkeye who had multiple hits in a single game. If we look to our scouting report, Maryland is the 8th seed in the tournament, sitting at 36-16 and splitting perfectly 11-11 in the Big Ten. Those 36 regular season wins are the most by the Terrapins in over 10 years since 2011. Mark Montgomery is in his 4th season in charge of the Terps. They've won 5 games in a row, including a 3-game sweep against Illinois last weekend. That is the first conference road sweep in program history since Maryland joined the Big Ten. That weekend sweep over the Fighting Illini. Maryland outscored Illinois 20-4 over the course of the 3 games. Trinity Schlotterbeck played a key role in the team's success, batting .556 on the weekend, including a career-high 4 hits in Saturday's win. The senior also recorded 2 wins in the circle over the weekend. Mackenzie Greco was named Big Ten Player of the Week for the first time this season. Greco finished the week hitting .727 with a pair of home runs. Helped her win Big Ten Player of the Week for the girls in black, red, gold, white, a little bit of everything in those Maryland uniforms. It's not the first time the Hawkeyes and Terrapins have faced off this season. In mid-April, Maryland took 2 of 3 in Iowa City against the Hawkeyes. They won games 1 and 2. Sorry about some technical difficulties there, folks. We are back, don't you worry. We're just about finished with our pregame coverage anyway. But as I was saying, this is not the first time that the Hawkeyes and Terrapins have played this season. In mid-April, Maryland took 2 of 3 against Iowa in Iowa City. Fun fact, those were the only games on the season I wasn't on the call for you guys. Or in Big Ten play, that is. Maryland took games 1 and games 2 of the series. They won game 1 by a score of 5-2 and shut out the Hawkeyes in game 2, 2-0. But a walk-off single from Nia Carter won them game 3 in what marked a 2-run 7th inning, giving the comebacks to the Hawkeyes. As we're just about getting set for first pitch between Iowa and Maryland. First round of Big Ten softball. Iowa Hawkeyes, Maryland Terrapins. Now it's time for our starting lineups between the two teams. Iowa rocking pretty much the same lineup we've seen throughout most of the Big Ten. We saw it fluctuate throughout a little bit towards the middle part of the Big Ten schedule. But if you paid attention at the beginning of the year, stopped paying attention, and just tuning in back now, it looks almost exactly the same to how things started out. Leading off is Nia Carter in the leadoff spot. Out in right field, batting second, Tatiana Roman in center. Batting third, Tori Bennett at shortstop. Denali Lecker is hitting cleanup as the DP. So those first four, well, it might not have been consistently that way throughout the year. It's pretty much how the Hawkeyes started. Carter, Roman, Bennett, Lecker. Batting fifth is the second baseman, Grace Baines. Now, if you know what the happening is, Grace Baines is at second base, you can go ahead and predict how the rest of the lineup's going to fade out the rest of the way. Batting sixth is Sammy Diaz at first base. Batting seventh in left field is Briley Klosterman, and batting eighth, and this is what I was hinting at, playing third base is Avery Jackson. Avery Jackson getting the start over Anna Streff. Jackson kind of taking over that final infield spot for the Hawkeyes. So when Jackson's playing, she's at third, and Baines will play second. But if Anna Streff were to start, Streff would play second, and Baines would slide over to the hot corner. And rounding out the lineup, this is really the only interesting part, is the pitcher in Jalen Adams. So Coach Gillespie elects to go with Jalen Adams as the batter over the likes of Skyland Pogue or Tristan Doster. And basically why I'm questioning it, not questioning it, but pointing it out, is you go with Jalen Adams, who doesn't have a hit this year. He's 0 for 21 in her very few plate appearances. But nonetheless, she is in there and serving as the flex, and catching in today's game for the Hawkeyes is freshman Skyland Pogue. Pogue and Doster have kind of been alternating as the season's worn on as to who the starting catcher would be. Pogue better defensively, Doster better with the bat. But Coach Gillespie says that we need defense. That's what's important now. So the Hawkeyes elect to go with Skyland Pogue. So there you have it, 1 through 9 in the order. And they're going to be facing Trinity Schlotterbeck. One of the most fun names we've seen this year. Scouting report for her, she throws low 60s. A down ball pitcher. Wants to keep everything low in the zone. Doesn't want Iowa to be able to take a ball that's up around the lettering and push it out over the wall. On the season this year, Trinity Schlotterbeck is 15-5, a 1.89 ERA, in 118 and 1/3 innings pitched. This is her 22nd start. May not have been the number one pitcher to start the year, but has become the ace thus far. Nia Carter leading off, swinging first pitch, ground ball up the middle, gloved by the fielder Runyon, who throws over to first for the first out of the ball game. One pitch, one out for Trinity Schlotterbeck. It'll bring up Tatiana Roman for the Hawks. Roman this year is hitting a tick above 300, 303. Like any baseball and softball player, she'll go on her stretches where she's just slapping singles left and right as she watches ball one outside, 1-0. Get on stretches where she'll just be able to punch anything she wants past the infield, and then at times she'll struggle to put the ball in play. The 1-0 is taken outside. Umpire does not expand the zone. Pretty close, but he calls it ball 2. Tatiana Roman, the left-handed slap-hitting player, will sometimes find herself in situations where she goes to a check swing, and sometimes the barrel of the bat just hangs out there a little too long, and she finds herself hitting weak contact. There's a strike call. This one looked just as far outside, maybe even a touch more. But our home plate umpire's raising his right fist into the air to call strike 1. Iowa is wearing their white uniforms today. My personal favorite. I think they look very clean. white unis with gold pants. The jerseys, as ball 3 is taken low and away, counts 3-1. The jerseys are button-ups with the scripted gold Iowa across the chest. Gold numbers on the back. Hawkeyes written in the spot where a player's last name would go. Numbers and letters with the black trim. Strike 2 called on that outside corner. Same spot we called strike 1 called. So we're about to see 6th pitch of the AB. And Tatiana Roman is yet to swing the bat. Counts full. First round action between Iowa and Maryland. This one is fouled off the netting. We'll do it again. Many of you might be watching this game on the Big Ten Network, but they don't know the girls like I do. I've been watching every game this year. You're listening to Iowa Softball on the Hawkeye Radio Network. Hi, everybody. I'm Lucas Strain, and thank you very much for joining me today. Full count pitch, 1 out. Ground ball on the infield, fielded again by the second baseman, and Runyon, and the sidearm throw is made for the 2nd out. Runyon serving as the flex, the designated fielder for this Terrapin defense. Maryland's wearing their black uniforms. Maryland in all capital letters across the chest. Is now the Maryland head coach, Mark Montgomery, is already going out and possibly making changes. He's talking to the umpire. And yes, we're already going to see our first pitching change of the game. So just 2 outs from Trinity Schlotterbeck. And we see a pitching change. So we're going to take a quick break, and then we'll be right back for the rest of the top of the 1st inning. You're listening to Iowa Softball with Learfield.
We all love a good win. Catching up with friends, saving money at the pump, soaking up the perfect Iowa day, sitting down to a really, really good meal. These are the everyday delights that make us smile. These are the moments that connect us all as Iowans. And these are the wins that, more often than not, start with Iowa's farm families and the crop they're growing. Because when corn grows Iowa, Iowans win. Learn more about how to share your own wins at iowacorn.org/IowansWin.
Hi, Hawkeye fans. My name is Denali.
And I'm Briley, and we're members of your Iowa Hawkeye softball team.
Our team is striving to be number 1.
And that's why we trust our vehicles to Iowa City Tire and Service, the #1 automotive shop in Iowa City.
Where service actually comes first.
Iowa City Tire and Service, where their customers become friends because they treat you like family. Find them at 410 Kirkwood Avenue or online at ictire.com. Proud sponsors of Hawkeye Softball.
So Maryland goes with that pitching change after Schlotterbeck gets the first 2 outs in Nia Carter and Tatiana Roman. And Tori Bennett's at the plate in the head. 2 balls and 1 strike. As Courtney White is in the game for the Terps. Her statistics on the season, a 2.48 ERA. As the 2-1 is fouled down the right field line, counts 2-2. This is only the 2nd time she's come out of the pen this year, so clearly the head coach for Maryland and Mark Montgomery saw something he liked in the matchups for Schlotterbeck getting out Nia Carter and Tatiana Roman before going to the pitching change nice and early. Now going to who was predicted to be the ace at the beginning of the season. Here's a weak pop fly on the infield off the end of the bat, and it's caught by the shortstop in Woods. As we just took a break, we will stay right here. As we're in the middle of the first inning, Hawkeyes go 3 up, 3 down. As Maryland will come to bat for the first time today. Jalen Adams will get the start for the Hawkeyes in the circle. Adams this season has served as the number 2 for much of the year, but has earned her spot as the new ace on the squad. A Big Ten freshman honoree in the postseason. This will be her 20th start on the year. A 7-13 record with a 2.04 ERA and 130 2/3 innings pitched. Now, she's given up 61 runs, but here's the kicker. 23 of them are unearned. She has 23 unearned runs against her this year. By far the most on the team and one of the tops in the Big Ten. If you look at Brianna Vasquez and Denali Lecker, their totals in pitching about 70 more innings, a little over 70 more innings combined between Vasquez and Lecker. 70 more innings than Adams. They have 5 less unearned runs, between the two of them combined. So the defense is usually not helping out Jalen Adams. The defense behind her today, Briley Klosterman in left, Tatiana Roman in center, Nia Carter in right. Avery Jackson at third, Tori Bennett at short, Grace Baines at second, Sammy Diaz at first. And her battery mate this evening is Skyland Pogue, another freshman on this Iowa team. First batter Jalen Adams will be facing is Megan McCamey, who watches strike one on the outside half, 0-1. As Nia Carter calls time to go out and grab some sunglasses. Hard for her to see with the setting sun out behind the third base dugout press box area. Looking in from right field. Swinging ground ball up the middle, off the diving glove of Grace Baines and into the outfield. And that's a leadoff base hit. Maryland has a runner on, bottom of the first. A nice attempt from Grace Baines, the Iowa second baseman. But it just hit off of her glove as she went into her dive. I think even if she would have fielded it cleanly, she would not have had time to get to her feet or even make a strong enough throw from her knees. So Kylie Goff, the 2-hole hitter, is also swinging first pitch. Diving Avery Jackson, can't make the catch, but it's in foul territory. Counts 0-1. Nice effort there from Jackson at third base. Playing in, saw the foul ball in and off the hands. Came in and tried to make the diving catch along the third baseline. And was about 6 inches shy. Kylie Goff is hitting .308 this season. Out of the 2 spot. Joe's bunt pulls it back on the changeup. And it's outside, 1-1. Scouting report for Jalen Adams. She's been going to that changeup a whole lot more. What we saw last weekend in that series against Wisconsin in her 2 starts, the Wisconsin batters were not a fan. They were not a fan of that changeup. As Mark Montgomery had called time, wanted to have a little chat with Goff. But when I say that they were not a fan of that changeup, they could hardly ever swing at it. They were so far out in front, after Adams would throw the fastball, they'd be too far out in front and would already have all of their weight onto that front foot and were unable to swing the bat. Misses upstairs, does the fastball, and the count's 2-1. This one's pumped into the upper inside corner, and it evens the count. Runner on first. Bottom of the first inning, we're scoreless after Iowa win 1-2-3. Nobody out, just the second batter of the inning for Maryland. This is round 1 of the Big Ten tournament. The 8-9 matchup. This one runs inside, and it hits just off the elbow guard of Kylie Goff. She'll reach first base. And now Maryland has runners on first and second, nobody out. And Jada McFarland coming to the plate. McFarland, their best offensive player. The lefty is hitting .374 on the year, a .421 OBP. She's swinging first pitch, but it goes foul. She's a very sweet, free-swinging approach. Takes a wild hack at things. She did on that one. Is roaming center field in today's game. Was the Big Ten Freshman of the Year in her first year in college. She's swinging pitch number 2. High fly ball, deep left field. Klosterman's back at the wall. Makes the catch just shy of the warning track. Gets the throw in, but not before the tagging Mikami reaches third base. Nice base running from Maryland early, tagging up on the deep fly ball into left field. Klosterman got the ball in quickly, but it wasn't quick enough. Throw was a little bit offline, as it was just deep enough. Goff also advanced on the tag up. So now there's runners on second and third and one out. And Mackenzie Grieco is at the plate. She watched strike one. Counts 0-1. Hawkeye defense is playing in. Corners are in past the bags. Middle infielders, they're even in the baselines. This one misses up and out. The count is 1 ball and 1 strike. Check swing to Adams. She fields it. Shovel to the plate is thrown out. Nice play from Jalen Adams, the Iowa pitcher. Takes the fielder's choice. Fields the one-hop check swing. Checks the runner at third. She sees that she's going home. Goes with the shovel pass to Skyland Pogue, the Iowa catcher, who catches it and tags out Mikami at the plate. Couple of games in a row, we've seen action tagging plays at the plate between Jalen Adams and Skyland Pogue. The battery mate showing off their connections. Goes down as a 1-2 fielder's choice. Goff advanced to third. And here's a throw down to second on the stolen base attempt. She's trying to get in a rundown. Now the throw over to third. The tag! And we have interference on Avery Jackson. Umpire said that Jackson did not give Goff room to slide back into third base safely. Doesn't get to advance because third base was the bag she was going for. Grieco, the runner at first base, was trying to get caught in a rundown to give Goff the ability to go home and score. She got off a little far off the bag, and Tori Bennett recognized it, fired over to third, but Avery Jackson was in the way. And now here's a line drive into left field, but right at Briley Klosterman for the third out. Maryland gets runners on second and third with only one away, but Jalen Adams works around the damage. After one complete, the Nerfy hits. You're listening to Iowa Softball with Learfield.
Hi, Hawkeye fans. My name is Denali.
And I'm Briley, and we're members of your Iowa Hawkeye softball team.
Our team is striving to be number one.
And that's why we trust our vehicles to Iowa City Tire and Service, the #1 automotive shop in Iowa City,
where service actually comes first.
Iowa City Tire and Service, where their customers become friends because they treat you like family. Find them at 410 Kirkwood Avenue or online at ictire.com. Proud sponsors of Hawkeye softball.
We all love a good win. Catching up with friends, saving money at the pump, soaking up the perfect Iowa day, sitting down to a really, really good meal. These are the everyday delights that make us smile. These are the moments that connect us all as Iowans. And these are the wins that, more often than not, start with Iowa's farm families and the crop they're growing. Because when corn grows Iowa, Iowans win. Learn more about how to share your own wins at iowacorn.org. youtube.com/Iowans win.
We're back for the top of the second inning. Iowa and Maryland still scoreless. Hawkeyes went 3 up, 3 down in the top of the first inning. Maryland had their chances, but good Hawkeye defense kept them off the scoreboard. Denali Lecker will lead off the top of the second inning for the Hawks. Lecker is the DP today. You can expect to see her pitching in the circle if Jalen Adams gets into any trouble. Win or go home for the Hawkeyes. There's no such thing as saving your arms at this point. So Denali Lecker digs into the box, and we're going to get the second inning underway. Courtney Weish is still in pitching for the Terps. Only threw 5 pitches after she came in, after Schlotterbeck gets the first 2 outs of the game in Nia Carter and Tatiana Roman. Courtney Weish comes in to face Tori Bennett and gets Denali Lecker to swing and miss. At the first pitch, counts 0-1. Now Lecker flies one out into right field, and the catch is made in foul territory by Schlotterbeck. And there is one away. Schlotterbeck, who was, again, the starting pitcher in the game before Courtney Weish came in to face Tori Bennett and Denali Lecker. This is Iowa's first appearance in the tournament since 2019. Had a real down year last year as Grace Baines watches strike one. Cross at the knees, 0-1. Only won 3 games in Big Ten play last year. This year still looking to get over 500, but finished the Big Ten season going 10-13. 7-game improvement from last year. The 0-1 misses way outside, 1-1. Grace Baines is hitting .260 on the season. Last series against Wisconsin, she went 1 for 8. Went 0 for on Saturday, and that Saturday 0 for snapped a 5-game hitting streak for Grace Baines. Watches the curveball miss outside, 2 balls and 1 strike. In that 5-game hitting streak, she had gone 1 for 3 in all 5 games. Talk about consistency. Weish into the motion and the pitch, and the fastball is foul down the first base line. Count evens. Grace Baines was really late on that fastball. You see Courtney Weish is pumping it in there at about 72, 73 miles an hour. One of the hardest throwing girls the Hawkeyes have seen this season. The 2-2 is flied in shallow center field. Coming on and making the catch is McFarland. 2 up, 2 down for the Hawks in the top of the second. Sammy Diaz will look to be the first batter to reach base for Iowa. Diaz has fluctuated up and down the Hawkeye order, hitting 6th today. Has seen herself in the cleanup spot, 5, 6, and sometimes as low as 7. Diaz is hitting .256 on the year. Strike 1. Fastball on the outer half that Diaz couldn't pull the trigger on. Diaz could really use a turnaround. He's just 1 for her last 18. Went 0 for 7 last series against the Badgers. Ball 1 misses outside, 1-1. Now everybody always talks about how somebody either ended the year on a great note, ended the year on a rough note, but when you get into postseason play, it's a completely different animal. You're not seeing a pitcher. It's very unlikely that a batter is going to see a pitcher for the third, maybe fourth time in one game. There's going to be much more pitching changes, and you're going to get much deeper into the rotation. The screwball misses low, and it's 2-1 to the Iowa first baseman in Diaz. Third game of the day of the first round matchups in the Big Ten tournament. Both of the higher seeds in Ohio State and Penn State won in the first two games. Ball 3 is yanked upstairs, and the count's 3-1. Goff will go out to talk to Weish after she's become a little bit wild in her last couple of pitches. Looks like she might just be overthrowing a little bit. Sammy Diaz back into the box. There's 2 away in the top of the second inning. And the 3-1 catches the outside corner, and the count's full. So Sammy Diaz yet to swing in a ball in this AB. Count's full, base hit, ball 4. Iowa's still looking for their first runner of the game. This after scoring just 1 run in 19 innings last weekend against Wisconsin. The full count pitch is right down the middle, called strike 3. Sammy Diaz just didn't see what she was looking for at the plate. But that fastball was right there, and she just couldn't pull the trigger. Iowa goes 3 up, 3 down in the top of the second inning as we head to the bottom half. We are still scoreless. You're listening to Iowa Softball with Learfield.
After a cancer diagnosis, it's natural to want to start treatment right away. But first, get a second opinion from a team that specializes in your cancer. I'm Dr. George Weiner, Director of University of Iowa Holden Comprehensive Cancer Center. Before you start treatment, you deserve to be confident you have the right diagnosis and know every option available to you. So whether it's with us or somewhere else, get a second opinion. It can change your care and your life.
Bottom of the second inning. 6-7-8 due up for the Terrapins. After the Hawkeyes have gone 3 up, 3 down in both the first and second innings. Amelia Leck will lead off the home half of the second. Leck, who started in right field, but after that pitching change has become the new DP. Leck is a .272 hitter on the year. It's a Wisconsin team where most of the offense, power-wise, comes from Leck. Leck hitting in the 6 hole as the DP, but has 15 home runs this season. By far the most on the team, 9 more than the next closest, who is Trinity Schlotterbeck. She's up swinging first pitch, ground ball, sliding stop by Bennett. The throw to first is in time. Nice play from Tori Bennett. Ground ball up the middle, goes to her left side, drops down onto her knees, makes the sliding stop, and all in one motion gets to her feet and slings it to first base. See if we can get Sports Center paying attention to that one. Nice play. Brings up Michaela Jones, the Maryland third baseman. And the fastball is called strike 1 on the outer half. Scoreboard reads it as a 1-0, but it was called a strike. And we talk about the difference in power. We said that Leck, who was just hitting for Maryland, has 15 home runs compared to Jones, who just has the 1. So the outfield playing a little bit shallower than they were just a batter ago. Misses upstairs, and the count's 1-1. And the screwball goes way inside. 2 balls and 1 strike. Iowa in must-win territory. Win or go home for the Hawks in this single elimination bracket. This one misses outside. So the count's 3-1. Jalen Adams missing a little bit inside, a little bit outside. Now she's just got to find that middle spot. Finds the zone there, outer half on the fastball. And she's able to make the count go full. Gets a fist pump from Skyland Pogue behind the plate. So after falling behind 3-1, the count's full, and here's a ground ball to Avery Jackson. Drops to the knee, fields it, and throws over. And there are 2 away. 5-3 put out in the books. And Sammy Woods, the Maryland shortstop, will step into the box. This is an Iowa pitching staff that has really been everything this year for the Hawks. Iowa's just 1-9 this year when opponents score 6 runs or more. As ball 1 misses inside. Compare that to when teams score 2 or less, they've won over 20 games. So when the pitching staff does well and holds teams to very few runs, Hawkeyes win. If the pitching staff does not do well and they score a lot of runs, the team does not do well. Pretty simple ratios, I understand. Just nice, easy stuff to point out. Counts 2-0. Now 2-1 as the Adams fastball finds the zone. Jalen Adams, who is in her second inning after in the first, Maryland had runners on second and third with 1 out before a ground ball was hit back to her in the circle. As this one's pulled foul, count evens at 2-2. And she fielded the ball and threw a shovel pass like a quarterback would on a speed option. Threw it home to Skyland Pogue behind the plate, who made the tag and cut down what would have been the first run of the game. So 2-2, 2 outs, fly ball, left side. Tori Bennett's going over, makes the catch in foul territory, calling off Avery Jackson for the third and final out. In the second inning, both teams go down in order. And as we head to the top of the third, still waiting for our first run. You're listening to Iowa Softball with Learfield.
At Oak Knoll, our mission is to provide exceptional retirement living and health services through life care. I'm Steve Rowe, Executive Director. We are a not-for-profit life plan community and have served Iowa City for more than 55 years. Our team helps residents create home by living our values of caring, respect, enthusiasm, awareness, teamwork, and encouragement. If you're looking at retirement options, visit our website at oakknoll.com. We want you to lead life your way. Go Hawks!
First round of the Big Ten tournament, Iowa Hawkeyes, the 9 seed, serving as the visiting team against the 8th-ranked Maryland Terrapins. The winner of this game will move on to play the Northwestern Wildcats tomorrow in the quarterfinals. Hawkeyes needing to win four games in 4 days to be crowned the champions of the Big Ten tournament. Would be difficult to go much farther in postseason play and extend the season onward without the help of winning the Big Ten tournament. Briley Klosterman, 7-8-9 due up for the Hawks. Klosterman, BK is going to lead it off. She's in left field. Avery Jackson waits on deck, and Jalen Adams is hitting for herself. or is at least scheduled to for now, in the 9-hole. Iowa still looking for their first base runner of the game. We are having another pitching change. Schlotterbeck is re-entering the game to pitch, so we see that Courtney Weish is taking the middle part of the order, and Schlotterbeck is going to take everybody else. But Schlotterbeck is back in the circle. Leck goes back out into right field, and Weish becomes the designated player again. So Schlotterbeck is in for her second appearance on the game. And now gets Briley Klosterman to ground out to second base on a 1-0 count. And there's one away in the third. Avery Jackson will bat now, but we're going to see, can you guess it, another pitching change. Schlotterbeck comes in just to face Briley Klosterman, and if you haven't picked up on it now, she's pitching to the lefties. We're going with that lefty-righty matchup. Trinity Schlotterbeck is pitching to the left-handed Iowa batters. And Courtney Weish is pitching to the righties. So all those reversals again. Schlotterbeck goes back to right field. Leck is to the DP. And Weish is back into the game pitching. She's facing Avery Jackson, who shows bunt, gets it down, but it pushes it foul. We saw Avery Jackson had a bunt single last weekend in the series against Wisconsin. In that series, that was her only hit in the 3 games. She went 1 for 6, and that bunt single coming in Game 3 on Sunday. Jackson is just 2 for her last 29, with 13 strikeouts. She's late on the fastball, punches it into the netting, and is quickly behind 0-2. So I'm curious as to what's going to happen with Jalen Adams waiting on deck, the left-handed batter for Iowa. Are we going to see Trinity Schlotterbeck back into the pitching rotation as Adams is on deck as a lefty, and then Carter and Roman are after her, so it'd be 3 straight lefties? Are we going to see Schlotterbeck? Avery Jackson swings and misses on the fastball. That's up in the zone. 3-pitch strikeout for Courtney Weish. We are not going to see the pitching change. Courtney Weish will pitch to Jalen Adams, who again is hitting for herself. Watches strike 1, cross at the knees. 0-1. Jalen Adams getting an honorable mention to the Big Ten freshman team after having a career season in the circle. Watches ball 1 outside, but is still looking for her first hit on the offensive side of things. Is 0 for 21 on the season, but hey, that's just over regular season play. Things are different in the postseason, am I right? Counts 1-1 to Adams. Weish into the motion and the pitch. Adams tries to check her swing, but it's a strike. Doesn't matter if it was on the swing or if it was on the pitch. It's a strike all the same, and the count's 1-2. Weish and Adams. And Weish gets Adams to swing and miss on the fastball. It was on the outer black. And the Hawkeyes go down in order. Weish strikes out Adams, and the matchup will just be flip-flopped to lead off the bottom of the third. Weish is due up to lead things off. Jalen Adams will return to the circle, we assume. After 3, the Hawkeyes have gone down in order every time, 9 up, 9 down. But they are still tied 0-0 with the Maryland Terrapins. So you're listening to Iowa Softball on the Hawkeye Radio Network.
Knowing that I can make a difference in my patients' lives keeps me motivated every single day. Hi, I'm Dr. Kanya Ferguson at University of Iowa Healthcare. With academic medicine, we see the toughest cases, so we're always innovating. And we bring the best minds together to collaborate, so there's more brain power focused on you. Because that leads to exceptional care for our patients and our community. See how at uihc.org.
At Oak Knoll, our mission is to provide exceptional retirement living and health services through life care. I'm Steve Rowe, Executive Director. We are a not-for-profit life plan community and have served Iowa City for more than 55 years. Our team helps residents create home by living our values of caring, respect, enthusiasm, awareness, teamwork, and encouragement. If you're looking at retirement options, visit our website at oakknoll.com. We want you to lead life your way. Go Hawks!
Bottom of the third. Iowa and Maryland still waiting for the first run of this game. Jalen Adams back into the circle, but we're going to see a pinch hitter for Courtney Weish. Taylor Laguari will be the pinch hitter for the Terrapins to lead off the bottom of the third. Weish, who was in the lineup as the designated player to start things out, but has come in as the pitcher. Jalen Adams starts things off with a screwball that misses low and inside. Counts 1-0. Laguari is a .270 hitter on the season. And she hits a ground ball in and off her fist to second base. Baines makes the play. 4 out, number 1, as the lineup turns over for Maryland. Megan McCamey, who is 1 for 1, has the only hit of the game thus far. Singled on a ground ball that hit off the diving glove of Grace Baines up the middle to lead off the bottom of the first. Shows bunt, takes a jab at it. Did she pull back? She did. Counts 1-0. Again, McCamey has the only hit in the game thus far. In what's been a fairly fast affair. This one misses outside, and the count is 2-0. Back into the motion and the pitch. 3-0. 3 balls and no strikes out of the hand of Jalen Adams, who sometimes does lose control. Walks were a bit of an issue for last week, and this one's in the zone. Counts 3-1. Over the weekend, especially in Game 3, walks sometimes got the better of Jalen Adams. And throws a walk here. Showing bunt again was McCamey. But she pulled back as the ball was out of the zone inside. And she reaches first base safely for the second time today. So it's a 1-out walk for McCamey. Kylie Goff is at the plate. Goff is the catcher. She was hit by a pitch in the first inning. That led to runners on first and second to start out the offensive day, as this fastball catches the outside corner 0-1. Maryland had runners on first and second with nobody out in the first inning. Then a deep fly ball up the bat of Jada McFarland. allowed both runners to tag up, so they had second and third with one out. And then a check swing ground ball was hit to Jalen Adams back in the circle, who fielded it and flipped home to cut down what would have been the first run of the game. Counts 0-2 as Goff swung and missed at the pitch. Jalen Adams still waiting on her first strikeout of the game. This one misses outside. Goff didn't chase. Runner on first, one out, after McCamey just drew a walk. Iowa defense straight up, a little bit shallow on the outfield. Poke down the right field line, but foul. If anything, they're also playing a little bit of a shift towards the left side for the Maryland catcher. Playing her to pull just a little bit more. Count's still 1-2. Bottom of the third inning in a scoreless game. And this one is pulled foul. Klosterman's giving chase, but a couple of steps beyond her reach. And the count is still 1-2. Feels like this Iowa team has been in the field for much of the first part of this game. Of course, it's been equal, but the amount of time that they're out there, I'm saying, as Iowa's gone down in order every time. All 9 Hawkeyes to come to the plate have been retired. And Maryland has pretty much had action on the bases most of the way. This one misses upstairs, 2 balls and 2 strikes to Kylie Goff. First round action in the Big Ten tournament, 8th ranked Maryland Terrapins, 9th seeded Iowa Hawkeyes pulled foul again. Count still 2-2. This will be the 8th pitch of the AB. As Kylie Goff fell behind 0-2 quickly after the first 2 pitches. After watching them both, but has battled to make it go 2-2. And is now getting ready for the 8th pitch, which is flied into right field in foul territory. Carter cannot chase it down. It wasn't a play that she really could have made. Off the bat, it looked like it was going to go fair. Wind is really not playing a key part in anything. There is a slight breeze pointing out towards left, but nothing special. In what's just a beautiful day to play softball. You really couldn't ask for anything better. It's not too hot. It's not cold. The wind's not blowing everywhere. As here's another foul ball down the right field line. Goff is just kind of poking things on the outer half, and she's pulling things on the inner half, waiting for her pitch. This will be the 10th pitch of the AB. Who's going to win the marathon, Jalen Adams or Kylie Goff? And remember, the count is still just 2-2. Runner on first and McCamey. And the 2-2. Pop fly on the infield. Avery Jackson's calling everyone off. Makes the catch just in foul territory. And there are 2 away. So we asked who's going to win the marathon. And it was Jalen Adams. Gets Kylie Goff to pop up on the infield. And it's a very important out because Jada McFarland comes to the plate. And the less runners on when she's up, the better. Drove one to the wall in the first inning, but Briley Klosterman made the catch just short of the warning track. Watches the changeup miss low. That Jalen Adams changeup hasn't used it as much in today's game that she did last weekend against Wisconsin. Really only used it against Jada McFarland thus far. Here's another one. And a throw down to second on the steal. McCamey is safe, elected not to slide, nearly overran it. Nice throw from Pogue, but just a little bit late. The pitch was a ball. So the count's 2-0, and now there's a runner in scoring position with Jada McFarland at the plate. So the 2-0 is grounded to first base, knocked down by Diaz, keeps it on the infield, but no outs anywhere. The snap throw to third is a little bit late. Sliding in safely is McCamey. Diaz had to go to her right just a little bit, knocks it down. We'll see how they officially score that one. Went to her knees to stop it. It ricocheted right to Grace Baines, the second baseman, who fired over to third base. But they could not tag out McCamey, who advanced to third. They do officially call it an error. It's a tough play for Sammy Diaz to make, but a really good job of just keeping it on the infield. Because if that would have gone through, that would have been the first run of the game. Coach Gillespie is out talking to the defense now, and I see her gesturing, pointing at different things, is more talking about situations. What are we going to do if this happens? Everyone, all right, I want you to play here, you to play there. Because there's an ever-important first run of the game waiting on third base. With runners on the corners and 2 outs. Iowa defense talking about what they're going to do on the first and third coverage if McFarland were to try and go down and swipe second. As we've already seen that in this game, they try and get caught in rundowns. And they are going to try and get caught in a rundown. And the throw home, and now the runner on third is caught in a pickle. The throw to third, the tag is there. Iowa defense, this is why you talk it through with Coach Gillespie. They tried to go for that delayed steal, get caught in the rundown. Skyland Pogue throws it to Jalen Adams, the Iowa pitcher, instead of throwing it through. And then after Adams had the ball, McFarland, who was the runner on first, still tried to advance to second, just straight up get to second base. And that caused Adams to throw to second, to Torrey Bennett, the shortstop, and then McCamey, the runner on third, came off just a little bit too far as Bennett snap throw to third base, and Avery Jackson tags out McCamey. So a couple of different ways in which the Iowa defense has done well against that delayed steal for Maryland. As we're through 3, we're still waiting on the first run of the game. You're listening to Iowa Softball on the Hawkeye Radio Network.
We all love a good win. Catching up with friends, saving money at the pump, soaking up the perfect Iowa day, sitting down to a really, really good meal. These are the everyday delights that make us smile. These are the moments that connect us all as Iowans. And these are the wins that, more often than not, start with Iowa's farm families and the crop they're growing. Because when corn grows Iowa, Iowans win. Learn more about how to share your own wins at iowacorn.org/IowansWin.
Back to the top of the order this year, or back to the top of the order in today's game, fumbling my words just a little bit. Nia Carter is set to bat for the second time. Courtney Weish is back into the game. So after we saw Trinity Schlotterbeck was the pitcher who got the lefties out in the first time through the order, and Nia Carter, Tatiana Roman, and Briley Klosterman. And Courtney Weish was going after the righties. Well, Nia Carter, who is a left-handed batter, is the one who is... Courtney Weish is the one who's going to be pitching to her. Weish re-enters the game after getting pinch hit for. Top of the fourth inning, the game is still scoreless. Nia Carter, who went 5 for 11 in the series earlier this year in Iowa City, pokes one foul down the third baseline. Count is 0-1. Nia Carter back into left-handed box. As is every Hawkeye in the order today, she's 0 for 1. She grounded out to second base to lead off the game, and now pokes one over the third baseman's head, and that drops in safely for a base hit. And the Hawkeyes have their first base runner of the game. Nia Carter just poking a pop fly line drive out into shallow left field. Stays through the pitch and gets just enough of it. It doesn't even land in the grass. If the third baseman in Jones was playing normal depth, probably makes that catch, but playing so far in because of the bunt. We'll see if Tatiana Roman tries to lay a bunt down here. She does, pulls back. Pitch misses outside. Tatiana Roman has 8 sacrifice bunts on the year, which is the second most in the conference. Nia Carter's on first base, and if she were to come around and score, would mark the first run of the game. Doesn't show bunt this time. Check swing, pop fly, shallow center. McFarland is there to make the catch. So after the bunt sign gets taken off, Tatiana Roman flies out in shallow center field. One out and Tori Bennett at the plate. Bennett popped up on the infield for the final out of the first. Still looking for her first hit of the season against Maryland. Went 0 for 9 in the 3 games in mid-April. Just a little less than a month ago. Here's a hard ground ball back up the middle for a base hit. Nia Carter rounds second, and the throw is spiked. Nia Carter's going to round third, but she's going to get held up by Renee Gillespie. Good base running by Tori Bennett, however. She advances to second base. And now the Hawks have runners on second and third with one out. On the base hit, Nia Carter went first to third, and I think McFarland was going to try and come up firing to third, but she tried to think better of it and hold herself up, so she spiked the throw as she was trying to stop herself from throwing it in. But Nia Carter, who had slid into third base, was unable to get to her feet and score. But now the Hawkeyes have runners on second and third. And Denali Lecker, their leading RBI batters at the plate, checks her swing, but fouls it down the right field line. So now both teams with the defensive air. That one goes against Jada McFarland, the Maryland center fielder. Denali Lecker is at the plate, is behind 0-1. And here's a fly ball in right center field, deep enough to get the run in. Catch is made at the wall, and Nia Carter is going to score the first run of the game, 1-0 Hawks. Denali Lecker doing her job, gives this ball a ride into deep right center field. Schlotterbeck makes the catch. Thought it might have had a chance of leaving the park, but Denali Lecker gets the job done. And the Hawks hold their first lead in a week. Tori Bennett did not advance from second base, so she still stands there. Swinging first pitch is Grace Baines. She lines it right to third, where it is caught by Jones for the third out, but not before the Hawks take the 1-0 lead. They score 1 run on 2 hits, utilize 1 Maryland error, and left one runner on base. In the middle of the fourth, Iowa is leading 1-0. You're listening to Iowa Softball with Learfield.
Hi, Hawkeye fans. My name is Denali.
And I'm Briley, and we're members of your Iowa Hawkeye softball team.
Our team is striving to be number one.
And that's why we trust our vehicles to Iowa City Tire and Service, the #1 automotive shop in Iowa City.
Where service actually comes first.
Iowa City Tire and Service, where their customers become friends because they treat you like family. Find them at 410 Kirkwood Avenue or online at ictire.com. Proud sponsors of Hawkeye softball.
We all love a good win. Catching up with friends, saving money at the pump, soaking up the perfect Iowa day, sitting down to a really, really good meal. These are the everyday delights that make us smile. These are the moments that connect us all as Iowans. And these are the wins that, more often than not, start with Iowa's farm families and the crop they're growing. Because when corn grows Iowa, Iowans win. Learn more about how to share your own wins at iowacorn.org/Iowans win. We all love a good win. Catching up with friends, saving money at the pump, soaking up the perfect Iowa day, sitting down to a really, really good meal. These are the everyday delights that make us smile. These are the moments that connect us all as Iowans. And these are the wins that, more often than not, start with Iowa's farm families and the crop they're growing. Because when corn grows Iowa, Iowans win. Learn more about how to share your own wins at iowacorn.org/Iowans win.
Bottom of the fourth inning, Iowa leads it 1-0 in Game 3 on day 1 of the Big Ten tournament. Iowa holding a 1-0 lead. When Iowa scores first this season, they are 24-6 in those 30 games where it happens. 30 games it happens, Iowa is 24-6 when they are the first team to score in the game. Jalen Adams is still in the circle for the Hawkeyes, has gone 3 pretty much untouched innings. Some strong defense behind her has gotten her out of some tough spots. But she's looked good in her first time and a half through the order. Ground ball right back to her in the circle. She gloves it above her head and throws over to first. So 1 pitch, 1 out for Jalen Adams. Trinity Schlotterbeck is batting 5th. She is the right fielder for the Terrapins. Was the starting pitcher in today's game, 0 for 1 today. Flew out to Briley Klosterman to end the first inning. Jalen Adams has gone 3 1/3 innings, has only given up 1 hit, and has walked 1 batter, swinging first pitch, but a chopping ground ball goes foul. Trinity Schlotterbeck, who is a .265 hitter on the year, came up with a runner on first and third with 2 outs in the first inning, but was unable to drive the runs in, and Maryland's trailing 1-0. She was the starting pitcher in the game, got Nia Carter and Tatiana Roman to go down 1-2, was eventually pulled as this one's fouled off the hands and into the seats. 1-2 was pulled for the likes of Courtney Weish. Later came back into the game to pitch against Briley Klosterman. So of the first 3 lefties to bat for Iowa, Schlotterbeck was the one who was pitching to her. Jalen Adams back into the motion, and the pitch is way outside on the curveball, and the count's 2-2. After that one missed outside, you see Jalen Adams looked right to her hands. Kind of tried to wipe her hand off. Reminds me of an NBA player who will wipe their hands on their shorts after an air ball. It's surely your hand's fault. The 2-2 is called strike 3 on the off speed. Jalen Adams gets her first strikeout of the afternoon, and there's 2 away in the bottom of the fourth. Jalen Adams not a strikeout pitcher. Tries to let her defense make plays behind her. Decides, I don't need you guys this time, and puts the 2-2 curveball right on the black. Her first strikeout of the game. Swinging first pitch is Amelia Leck. Fouls it into the netting. Counts 0-1. Leck is the DP, was the starting right fielder, but with all these pitching changes, she's rotating back and forth between playing right and serving as the DP. Again, the leading home run hitter. 15 long balls on the season. Watches the fastball upstairs, 1-1. Amelia Leck takes the unique approach if she wears eye black. Two lines of eye black just on her left side, her left cheek, and there's nothing on her right cheek. See, most players, eye black gets a little creative on the designs. And this is one I've never seen before. 2 lines on the left cheek and absolutely nothing on the right. The 1-1 missed inside, as it is now 2 balls and 1 strike. And here's a pop fly on the infield between Baines and Diaz. Baines calls off Diaz and makes the catch. So Maryland goes down in order, 3 up, 3 down. We're through 4. Iowa leads it 1-0. Due up in the top of the 5th inning, 6, 7, and 8 with Diaz, Klosterman, and Jackson. You're listening to Iowa Softball with Learfield.
Hi, Hawkeye fans. My name is Denali.
And I'm Briley, and we're members of your Iowa Hawkeye softball team.
Our team is striving to be number 1.
And that's why we trust our vehicles to Iowa City Tire and Service, the #1 automotive shop in Iowa City.
Where service actually comes first.
Iowa City Tire and Service, where their customers become friends because they treat you like family. Find them at 410 Kirkwood Avenue or online at ictire.com. Proud sponsors of Hawkeye Softball.
Top of the 5th inning. Sammy Diaz will lead things off for the Hawkeyes. Diaz struck out looking in the top of the 2nd inning. She's been struggling quite a bit, to say the least, over the last, I'd say, 2 weeks. Really, her last strong performance was against Iowa State. She went 2 for 4. Had a pair of RBI singles, drove in both runs, had the only RBIs of the game for the Hawkeyes in that 7-3 loss. That other 3rd run was unearned. That's why there's no statistical RBI for it. But I say she's been struggling ever since that happened. Since that game, including today, she's 1 for her last 19. And is not walking as much. Was a top 10 player in terms of numbers-wise walking. Has drawn 25 walks on the year. Was sitting around 4 through 6 for much of Big Ten play, but as things have dwindled on, the walks have not come as frequently. She's now dropped out of the top 10. But she says, I don't need a walk, I'll take a hit right now. Courtney Weiss is out of the game. Schlotterbeck is back into the game. So all the rotation changes continue to happen. Diaz is swinging first pitch, fly ball, center field. McFarland is there, and 1 pitch, 1 out. Saw a defensive change as well. Davis is playing right field now in place of Leck. And Briley Klosterman watches ball 1. Counts 1-0 to her now. Klosterman, who scored the only run of the series last weekend against Wisconsin. Had a pair of hits, though, a single in Game 2, a single in Game 3. Watches strike 1 on the off-speed, catch the outside corner, counts 1-1. Iowa leads it 1-0 after scoring in the top of the 4th inning on a Denali Lecker sacrifice fly. The 1-1 off speed, or I guess you could maybe call it a fastball, as Schlotterbeck's pitches pretty much range in the same area speed-wise, except for the changeup. But nonetheless, it missed low, and the count is 2-1 to BK. And she fouls this one straight back, and the count's 2-2. Two balls and two strikes. Iowa looking to add some insurance runs on the year when they're leading after the fourth inning. They are 23-3. Hardly ever blow games that they're leading late, as this one misses outside and the count's full. It's just the problem of taking the lead, where Iowa struggles the most. The offense struggles really all year long, especially as the Big Ten season has gone on. As the full count pitch is fouled off, and we'll do it again. And the offense struggling is translated into how things went down win-loss-wise for Iowa. As against teams in the field, they are just 7-13, 10-13 in Big Ten play, but 3 of those wins came against Michigan State, who did not win enough games to make the tournament. Full count, hot shot back up the middle, but look what I found from Trinity Schlotterbeck. A hot piece off the bat of Briley Klosterman, right back up the middle, but right into the glove of Schlotterbeck. And there are 2 away. Looking at the replay, you can see the catcher in Kylie Goff's eyes. They get super wide as soon as that ball was hit. Thought it was going to hit her battery mate, but Schlotterbeck sticks her glove out and makes the catch. Avery Jackson looks to avoid the Hawks going 3 up, 3 down. Watches ball 1 up high. Counts 1-0. Coach Mark Montgomery for Maryland is using both of his top 2 pitchers in this game. Just trying to keep the Hawkeye team, these Hawkeye offense, on their toes. Fouled off the padding, counts 1-1. Avery Jackson is 0 for 1, struck out swinging in the third. Iowa just 2 hits thus far. Maryland just 1, and it was their leadoff batter. It was a leadoff single off the bat of McCamey. But since that happened, Maryland is 0 for 12 as a team. This one's fouled down the right field line, and Avery Jackson is behind 1 ball and 2 strikes. Wind is picked up just a little bit, more than just a slight breeze. Now the flags are pretty much generally waving the entire time, but still not enough wind to have a great effect on the game. Avery Jackson chases out of the zone on the check swing. It's her second time striking out today. Iowa goes 3 up, 3 down in the top of the 5th. As we hit the 5th inning stretch, the Hawkeyes lead it 1-0. You're listening to Iowa Softball with Learfield.
Knowing that I can make a difference in my patients' lives keeps me motivated every single day. Hi, I'm Dr. Kanya Ferguson at University of Iowa Healthcare. With academic medicine, we see the toughest cases, so we're always innovating. And we bring the best minds together to collaborate, so there's more brain power focused on you. Because that leads to exceptional care for our patients and our community. See how at uihc.org.
At Oak Knoll, our mission is to provide exceptional retirement living and health services through life care. I'm Steve Rowe, Executive Director. We are a not-for-profit life plan community and have served Iowa City for more than 55 years. Our team helps residents create home by living our values of caring, respect, enthusiasm, awareness, teamwork, and encouragement. If you're looking at retirement options, visit our website at oaknoll.com. We want you to lead life your way. Go Hawks!
We're back for the bottom of the fifth. 7-8-9 due up for the Terps. Michaela Jones will lead things off, the third baseman. Iowa has 1 run on 2 hits and utilized 1 Maryland error. As Maryland has gone scoreless through 4, has just 1 hit on the day. And the Hawkeye defense has also committed an error to help the Maryland cause. But as we hit the home half of the fifth, Hawkeyes lead it 1-0. Some strong defense behind Jalen Adams. He has helped the Hawks hold on to this 1-0 lead. First pitch of the bottom of the fifth inning is yanked high out of the hand of Jalen Adams to Michaela Jones. Counts 1-0. Adams just threw her 58th pitch. So, just starting her 5th inning of work. Pitch count's in decent shape. Would like it to be a little bit lower, especially with the heart of the order due up next inning. Swing and a miss to even the count on Jones. Jones is hitting .289. Nia Carter, Tori Bennett, and Denali Lecker, the 3 Hawkeyes, really teaming up to help Iowa score the only run of the game. Ball 2 misses inside, 2-1. Nia Carter poked a single out into left field. That was her 93rd hit of the year, and she now stands alone for the second most hits in a single season for the Iowa Hawkeyes. The 2-1 runs upstairs, and it's now 3 balls and 1 strike. After that Nia Carter single into left, Tori Bennett singled up the middle, and Nia Carter went first to third on the play. And then Denali Lecker, the next batter, drives her in on a sacrifice fly to the right center field wall. This one's fouled off the netting, and the count goes full to Michaela Jones. Maryland's had their opportunities. Had runners on second and third with 1 out in the first inning. But a nice play from Jalen Adams in the circle. Cut down the leading runner at home. This one's fouled down the right field line. Count remains juiced. And Maryland also had runners on first and third with 2 outs. And they went for a delayed steal in which the runner on first tried to get caught in a rundown. The throw was made towards second base, as this one's pulled foul as well. The throw was made to the pitcher in Jalen Adams, who then threw to second base in Tori Bennett, who then relayed it to third. And Avery Jackson was able to tag out the runner on third base in McCamey. And McCamey was the runner who got tagged out at third and the one who got tagged out at home. So she's been surrounding all of these plays on the bases. Line drive into center field. Tatiana Roma sliding trap. Keeps it in front of her, but that's a leadoff single for Michaela Jones. I don't really like Tatiana Roman diving on that play, as if she let that get past her, there was really no chance she had of catching it. But if that had rolled past her, that could have been a 4-bagger. But that's just a what-if scenario. Kept it in front of her. And the leadoff single. Bunt goes foul. Off the bat of Sammy Woods. That was Maryland's first hit since the first batter of the game for them. Just their second hit of the game. Corners are in playing the bunt, and the bunt gets down. It's right in front of the plate, and nobody talks about who's going to pick it up. All four Hawkeyes just kind of stand there and watch it roll. They weren't letting it roll foul either. It was right in the middle of play. Adams thought Pogue was going to take it. Pogue thought Jackson was going to take it. Jackson thought Adams was going to take it, and it just goes down as a bunt single. Now they have runners on first and second and nobody out, and Coach Gillespie's out there again. A premier bunting situation as they have runners on first and second and nobody out. And the 9-hole is due up. We'll see if Courtney Weish is going to hit for herself. Was only in the lineup to serve as the DP. So she and Schlotterbeck, so the two of them could come in and serve as dual pitchers in the game. Weish only has 3 ABs on the year. We'll see if she tries to lay down a bunt. No pinch hitter because they want to keep her pitching available. And she gets the bunt down. And the throw to third is late. That goes down as a fielder's choice. And the bases are loaded. The bunt got put down, and Avery Jackson, the Iowa third baseman, kind of lost her footing as she went in to field the bunt. And it scooted past her. Jalen Adams picked it up. And she picked it up and threw to third. But it was late, and now the bases are loaded with nobody out. And the top of the lineup due up. Megan McCamey watches ball one upstairs. McCamey is 1 for 1, has singled and walked. A single or walk would give Maryland a tie, possibly even a lead. The Iowa defense is playing in. Corners pass the bag, middle infielders even in the base paths. Fly ball, shallow right center field. Coming on, sliding catch by Roman. Her throw home will keep the runner at third base. Phenomenal play by Tatiana Roman. Wow! Comes on, makes the sliding catch in right center field. Jones, who is at third base, has no chance of tagging up. Great job by Roman as soon as she makes the catch. Doesn't even waste time getting to her feet. Not even done with the slide yet. And she throws it home to just get the ball in and keep the runners at bay. That'll be a forgotten play in this game, as it just goes down as an F8. But what a defensive play from Tatiana Roman. Bases loaded, 1 out. Kylie Goff is ahead 1-0. Goff is 0 for 1, walked and popped up in foul territory to the third baseman in Jackson. The 1-0 catches the inside black, and the count evens at 1 apiece. Maryland has had action on the bases all game long. Has been unable to capitalize. Couple of different mistakes here and there. And ground ball to Avery Jackson. Steps on third. Now the throw home is high off the glove. Run's going to score. Another run's going to score on the errant throw. Well, actually, no. That second run's not going to score. Oh, wait. Yes, it did. I had guessed for just a second that the runner who had crossed the second time was the girl who... Oh, no, she's out. The second one who was trying to advance home, the second run doesn't count. She was already out. just one run's going to score on the play. Scoreboard is going to have to get fixed. It goes down as a fielder's choice. Avery Jackson fielded the ball at third, stepped on third to get the force out, then decides to throw home. Should have gone to first off after fielding it and stepping on the bag. But tries to go home. And the throw was high. And it will go down as an error. The Iowa defense just wasn't really prepared for what Avery Jackson did there. Swing and a miss, and the count goes 0-2. Skyland Polk, who was the Iowa catcher, tried to field it like she was a first baseman, like there was still a force out. But after Jackson had stepped on third, the force out was taken out. Fly ball into center is caught by Tatiana Roman to end the fifth. So Maryland gets just the one run. The Big Ten Network says it's 2-1. If I'm looking over at their screen, it says it's 2-1. But that second run didn't count. The girl who ran home was already out on the force play. But after 5, this game is tied at 1 apiece. We head to the top of the 6th inning. You're listening to Iowa Softball on the Hawkeye Radio Network.
After a cancer diagnosis, it's natural to want to start treatment right away. But first, get a second opinion from a team that specializes in your cancer. I'm Dr. George Weiner, Director of University of Iowa Holden Comprehensive Cancer Center. Before you start treatment, you deserve to be confident you have the right diagnosis and know every option available to you. So whether it's with us or somewhere else, get a second opinion. It can change your care and your life.
So chaos ensues in the bottom of the 5th inning. And it goes in favor of the Terrapins. They even the score. Avery Jackson, a little bit of chaos going on. Picks up the ground ball with the bases loaded and 1 out. Steps on third to get the force out. It's the second out of the inning, but then decides to throw home. And get the force. The scoreboard here at the park still says 2-1. They're just now changing it back. Only the 1 run scored on the play. I was right in my original call in which I said that the second run shouldn't count, but then it was thrown up onto the scoreboard, made me second guess myself. But the girl who tried to advance the second time for the second run was already out at third on the force play. And I was wrong. Polk did not try and act like a first baseman. She tries to catch it and put the tag on. Her stance was just a little funky. But she tries to catch it and put the tag on. But the scoreboard is just getting fixed. The score is 1-1. But nonetheless, it's the top of the 6th inning now. Jalen Adams will lead off offensively. Is 0 for 1, struck out in the third. Still looking for her first hit of the season. Is 0 for 22. Watches this one outside, 2 balls and no strikes. The 2-0 is called strike, just catches the outside corner, and the count goes to 2-1. Schlotterbeck really doesn't want to pitch around Adams, who again, still looking for the first hit. Just put it in the zone, especially with Nia Carter waiting on deck. You don't want to give Adams a free base. Fouls this one off the netting, and the count evens at 2 apiece. Iowa took the 1-0 lead in the top of the 4th. Maryland tied things up in the bottom of the 5th. And I feel like Iowa games get hectic in one way or another, and it continues now. Little ground ball, third base line. Fielded, thrown over by Jones. And Adams is retired to lead off the 6th. Back to the top of the order for the Hawkeyes and Nia Carter. Carter is 1 for 2 and scored the only game for the Hawkeyes. She needs 1 hit to break the single season record. Has 93 on the year. 1 more puts her at 94. Watches strike 1 on the outer half. 0-1. Would be 94 hits in a season. Shows bunt, pulls back. And it's a ball outside. Showing bunt is Nia Carter. So many of her hits this year have come via a bunt single. And she's showing how she doesn't care how it comes. She doesn't care about what kind of moment it is. She cares about her team and getting on base. Fouls this one over the third base dugout. And is now behind 1-2. For those who were wondering, Trinity Schlotterbeck is the one pitching. For Maryland, we've seen them just alternating between Schlotterbeck and Weish. Schlotterbeck's the one in now. The 1-2. Carter doesn't chase the changeup that is outside. Two balls and 2 strikes in a 1-1 game. Top of the 6th inning, 1 out. The Maryland defense is playing an extremely unique shift. Left fielder's playing the left field line in shallow. Center fielder's playing literally just in left center field. And then the right fielder is just playing standard right field. This one misses outside. And the count is full. Center field and right center are completely wide open for Nia Carter. A shift I've never seen before in my life. And this one's fouled off the padding, just off the end of the bat. But Nia Carter is able to stay alive. Again, she led off the top of the 4th with a poked single into shallow left field just over the third base bag. That's why we're seeing this shift. She later came around and scored in what was the first run of the game. Ground ball left side. Chopper fielded by Woods, and now the throw will get to the wall. Nia Carter advances to second base. And she reaches. The Hawks have a runner in scoring position with 1 out. Goes down as an error against the shortstop in Woods. Tried to make the throw on the run to get the speedy Carter. But she yanks it to her left, rolls to the wall, and Carter's able to get to second base. Would have been a tough play for Woods anyway. But the second error of the game for the Maryland defense. Both teams now has a pair of errors. And this bunt goes foul off the bat of Tatiana Roman. Now you might be questioning, why is Roman bunting with one out and a runner on second? And the answer is 1, well, she can just do it for a hit. And 2, this Iowa offense, they do not hit for power very well. So they might get hits with runners on second, but oftentimes runners still don't score. because the balls are hit so softly, either on the infield or just barely reaching the grass. So runners are unable to go 2 bases. Count is now 0-2 to Tatiana Roman. And here's a ground ball on the left side and through for a base hit. Stopping at third is Nia Carter. Hawks have runners on the corners, 1 out. Tori Bennett coming to the plate. It's that situation I was just talking about. The Hawks get hits when runners are on base. But the way that this team takes their approach, those balls are hit soft enough where Nia Carter, who is the fastest player on this team, just has no chance of scoring on the play, is held up at third, but still, the sac fly is now in play. Runners on the corners, 1 out. Tori Bennett, the freshman, is at the plate. He's 1 for 2. Singled on a hard ground ball back up the middle in the 4th inning. Was right in the middle of that run-scoring affair. Well, Nia Carter and Denali Leckert are going to be the ones who get remembered for the run scored in the RBI. It was Bennett's hit that got Carter to third. Take strike 1 on the changeup. Counts 0-1. Runners on the corners, 1 out. Iowa 3-hole is at the plate. Tori Bennett was fluctuated up and down the lineup as of late. Went on a bit of a slump, slid back into the 6th, and has now earned her spot in the 3-hole again. Fly ball, shallow right center field. Coming on to make the catch is McFarland, but the run's going to score, and the Hawks take a 2-1 lead. Tori Bennett gets the job done. Hawks score their 2nd run of the game via the sacrifice fly, and they're up 2-1. Tori Bennett sits back on the off-speed, gets just enough of it into center field. McFarland makes the catch, but Iowa would trade that out for the run any day of the week. They're up by 1 in the top of the 6th inning. Denali Leckert swinging first pitch. Line drive down the left field line's going to roll to the wall. Tatiana Roman's going to round third. Head home. She's going to score. Hawks lead it 3-1. An RBI double off the bat of Denali Leckert. Ripped down the left field line, rolls all the way to the wall. And Tatiana Roman showing off the wheels and scores from first. Coach Gillespie was putting the windmills on as soon as that play started. Roman chugging all the way along. Hawkeyes lead by 2. Denali Leckert with the RBI double down the left field line, chases Trinity Schlotterbeck out of the game for what might be the 3rd time. Weish is coming back in. Schlotterbeck will become the new DP. This game is seen a little bit of everything. But after everything we've seen, Iowa now leads it 3-1. We'll have a runner out at second base for Leckert. It's Haley Down. I think anybody here could have guessed that. These all go down as unearned runs against Schlotterbeck after that crucial error by Woods, the shortstop. What would have been the 2nd out of the inning gave Iowa a runner on second with only 1 out. Grace Baines is at the plate. Watches ball 1 upstairs, 1-0. Baines is 0 for 2. Remember that 1 for 3 streak? Well, she might be able to pick it up right now. Had gone 5 straight games in a row of hitting exactly 1 for 3. Fly ball deep center field at the wall, but the catch is made by Jada McFarland for the third out, but not before the Hawks take the ever so important 3-1 lead. They got 2 runs on 2 hits. Used that error. A huge double down the left field line for Denali Lecker. And the Hawks lead at 3-1. Heading to the bottom of the 6th inning, you're listening to Iowa Softball on the Hawkeye Radio Network.
Hi, Hawkeye fans. My name is Denali.
And I'm Briley, and we're members of your Iowa Hawkeye softball team.
Our team is striving to be number 1.
And that's why we trust our vehicles to Iowa City Tire and Service, the #1 automotive shop in Iowa City.
Where service actually comes first.
Iowa City Tire and Service, where their customers become friends because they treat you like family. Find them at 410 Kirkwood Avenue or online at ictire.com. Proud sponsors of Hawkeye Softball.
We all love a good win. Catching up with friends, saving money at the pump, soaking up the perfect Iowa day, sitting down to a really, really good meal. These are the everyday delights that make us smile. These are the moments that connect us all as Iowans. And these are the wins that, more often than not, start with Iowa's farm families and the crop they're growing. Because when corn grows Iowa, Iowans win. Learn more about how to share your own wins at iowacorn.org/IowansWin.
We are back in the bottom of the 6th inning. Iowa leads it 3-1. Jalen Adams back into the circle for her 6th inning of work. He has gone 5 innings, 3 hits, 1 error. Has left 5 Maryland runners on base. Has pitched into and out of trouble time and time again in this game. 4, 5, 6 due up in the bottom of the 6th inning for Maryland as they trail it 3-1. And first pitch, ground ball to Diaz at first base, who drops to a knee to smother it, gets to her feet, and steps on the bag. 1 swing, or 1 pitch, 1 out. Hawkeyes just 5 outs away now from becoming the first lower seed to win a game in this tournament. When Iowa is leading after 5 innings, going into the 6th, when they are leading games, they are 22-2. They don't choke games away very often. This one is foul down the right field line. 0-1. Schlotterbeck is the batter. Remember, she was the one who was pitching just a half inning ago. Those runs go against her record. Both were unearned, however. Curveball misses outside. Count evens. Iowa, who's coming in to the tournament on a 4-game losing streak. Maryland had been coming in on a 5-game winning streak in the 8-9 matchup. Hawkeyes are looking to upset the Terrapins. Misses outside again, counts 2-1. And swung on and missed on the straight fastball at letter height. And it's 2-2. You don't see many swing and misses for Jalen Adams. Again, it's not because her stuff just isn't good. It's because she just pitches to contact. That's how she plays. And this one's way outside, not pitching to contact there, as it goes nearly outside of the left-handed batter's box. to the right-handed hitting Schlotterbeck. And the count's full. Full count, 1 out. And the pitch is high for ball 4. 1 out walk for Trinity Schlotterbeck. Second walk of the day issued by Jalen Adams. Leck is going to re-enter the game. Leck, who had been taken out for defensive purposes for the likes of Davis. But now Leck is re-entering. 15 home runs on the year. Those 15 long balls lead the team. And 1 home run now would tie this game. The ability to knot things up with the swing of the bat. Watches ball 1 inside. Counts 1-0. We've seen a lot of different coaching strategies used so far today from the likes of Mark Montgomery. In and off the fists and into the netting. Count evens at 1 apiece. Iowa back in the Big Ten tournament for the first time since 2019. Of course, the 2020 season ended early. This one misses inside, 2-1. Leck gives a kind of a evil smile to Jalen Adams out in the circle. Kind of confused on what all that's about. The 2-1 is swung on and missed. Was kind of hoping Jalen Adams would give that evil smile right back to Amelia Leck. As Leck took a hack at it but came up empty. And the count's 2-2. And it's fouled off. And Leck is just staring at Jalen Adams. Fouls it off the netting. Is laid on it, but is staring down Adams after the swing. Fouls it off and then walks a couple of feet out towards the pitching circle and just staring at Jalen Adams. This one's fouled off again. No stare this time. But the count's still 2-2. And here's a pop fly, foul territory, but it's going to find the seat. And it's still 2-2. Don't know where this kind of rivalry came from. I'm not sure if Jalen Adams is even aware of how much Leck has been staring her down. Since the start of this AB, the crowd's getting to its feet, and it's getting pretty loud. Trying to urge on their number 1 home run hitter to tie this game. The 2-2 was low and in the dirt. Another nod, another stare down. So the count is now full. Full count, 1 out. Runner on first, tying runs at the plate. Bottom of the 6th inning, Hawks lead it 3-1. Leck calls time and is now storming off. Playing with a lot of emotions is Amelia Leck. Calls time, storms off, nearly gets all the way into the dugout. The full count pitch. Ground ball on the right side. Fielded by Baines. Her throw over is in and out of the glove of Tori Bennett, the shortstop. That'll go down as an error. Tori Bennett, who should have caught that ball at second base for the fielder's choice. Nice play by Baines. And the throw was fine. Just off the glove of Tori Bennett. Third error of the game for Iowa. And that puts the tying run on base. Runners on first and second. One out. Mandy Gardner is out talking to the battery. Renee Gillespie is out talking to the infield. Talking things through. 7-hole is due up for Maryland and Michaela Jones. Jones, who is 1 for 2 today. Singled on a line drive into center. Back in the 5th inning. I say back in the 5th inning. That was just an inning ago. First half of the game flew by like a breeze. The last 2 innings have taken much, much longer. As we're approaching the 1 hour and 50-minute mark, and we're just in the bottom of the 6th with 1 out. Jalen Adams has thrown 92 pitches. And throws strike 1 now to Michaela Jones. Perhaps Coach Gillespie was out there talking to the defense about a potential bunt. What are we going to do if Jones tries to lay down a bunt? Runners on first and second. Runners on first and second with only 1 out. And this curveball is in the zone as well. And quickly behind 0-2. The 8-9 matchup between Maryland and Iowa. First round game, winner gets the top-seeded Northwestern Wildcats in the quarterfinals tomorrow. The 0-2 way outside. There's nothing for Jones to offer at. As that was out of the zone as soon as it left Adams' hand. Iowa defense looking to pick up Jalen Adams. 3 errors on the day. As here's a fly ball in right field. Nia Carter makes the catch, gets the ball in, so there's no tag-ups. And that is the second out. A much-needed second out for Iowa. Keeps the runners where they are. Now there's 2 away, and Sammy Woods is the scheduled batter. Sammy Woods, who is the shortstop. She's 1 for 2. But that single was a bunt single in which the Iowa defense just didn't talk to each other. 2 outs, 2 runners on, 2-run game. Swinging first pitch, line drive, backhanded catch by Avery Jackson at third base. And the Hawkeyes get out of the inning. They make up for the Tori Bennett error. Avery Jackson makes the catch over at third. And we are through 6. Heading to the top of the 7th inning, Iowa leads it 3-1. 2 up for the Hawks, 6, 7, and 8 with Diaz, Klosterman, and Jackson. You're listening to Iowa Softball on the Hawkeye Radio Network.
At Oak Knoll, our mission is to provide exceptional retirement living and health services through life care. I'm Steve Rowe, Executive Director. We are a not-for-profit life plan community and have served Iowa City for more than 55 years. Our team helps residents create home by living our values of caring, respect, enthusiasm, awareness, teamwork, and encouragement. If you're looking at retirement options, visit our website at oaknoll.com. We want you to lead life your way. Go Hawks!
After a cancer diagnosis, it's natural to want to start treatment right away. But first, get a second opinion from a team that specializes in your cancer. I'm Dr. George Weiner, Director of University of Iowa Holden Comprehensive Cancer Center. Before you start treatment, You deserve to be confident you have the right diagnosis and know every option available to you. So whether it's with us or somewhere else, get a second opinion. It can change your care and your life.
Top of the 7th, Sammy Diaz is the one to kick things off. Courtney Weish is still in the game. Maryland has used 2 pitchers so far. Has used 2 pitchers the entire game. Weish has given up 1 run. Schlotterbeck has given up 2, although the latters were unearned. Sammy Diaz to lead off the top of the 7th. Diaz is 0 for 2 today. Has struck out looking and flied out into center field. Watches first pitch fastball miss outside. Count is 1 ball and no strikes. Diaz in the regular season series against Maryland went 2 for 8 and drew a walk. Again, had a really strong season for the Hawkeyes up until these last couple of games. Fouls this one off the netting, 1-1. The 1-1 pitch to Diaz. Check swing on the infield, off the glove of the pitcher Weish, rolls to nobody, and Diaz reaches. That'll go down as an infield single, and that's got to feel good for Sammy Diaz. Couple of hard-hit balls that just don't bounce her way. Finally, she hits the soft contact, and something finally drops in for the base hit. Signals the heart sign back towards the dugout. And Diaz will get ran for over at first. Riley Moss is entering the game. Briley Klosterman's at the plate. Klosterman, who is 0 for 2, has a hit in each of the Hawks' last 2 games. Scored the only run of the game for Iowa on Sunday against Wisconsin. Fastball misses outside, 1-0. Moss thought about running, but scampered back to the first base bag. Iowa leading 3-1 in the top of the 7th, looking to be the first lower-seeded team to win in this tournament, this first round of the Big Ten tournament. This one's way high, and now a snap throw to first base is late. Simply just goes down as ball 2. The pitch was so high, it just bounced right off the glove. The catcher's made of Goff, but it pops straight up into the air. And she's able to catch it as it comes back down. And Moss, who had gotten off just a little bit farther after she saw that it popped out of the glove, but was able to get back to first base bag safely. Swing and a miss from Briley Klosterman. There's that home run swing. Not even necessarily the home run swing. That's your 2-0 swing right there. It's what we call a hack. Klosterman hitting just .250 on the year. Watches ball 3 upstairs, 3 balls and 1 strike. Has seen stretches on the season where she just gets scorching hot. In the middle part of the year was sometimes carrying the Iowa offense. Slid her up into the leadoff spot, did Coach Gillespie. But ever since that happened, things have just gone downhill. But the 3-1 misses outside. And Klosterman draws the walk, and now there's runners on first and second, nobody out. Avery Jackson's at the plate. Got to be bunting here, right? got to be bunting. Avery Jackson's a good bunter. Maybe we're going to see a pinch hitter instead. Anna Streff is the better hitter between her and Avery Jackson. But with runners on first and second, nobody out, and you just need more insurance runs, I feel like a sacrifice bunt is the exact thing that we should expect. Top of the 7th inning, Iowa leads by 2. Avery Jackson's not going to get pinch hit for. She's in the batter's box. We'll see if she shows bunt. She does, gets it down, but foul. So she does show bunt. But out of the hard throwing hand of Courtney Weish, it ricochets so far off the bat that it just spins foul. Counts just 0-1. See if Jackson gets the bunt sign again. It was her defensive mistake that allowed Maryland to tie the game back in the 5th inning. She does show bunt and gets this one fair, and it's in no man's land. Jackson beats it out for a base hit. Perfectly placed bunt down the first base line for Avery Jackson. There was just no Maryland defenders there. And the first baseman in Greco came up barehand into the throat of first, was just not enough to get the speedy Avery Jackson. That goes down as a bunt single. And the bases are loaded and nobody's out. With Jalen Adams at the plate, is she going to get pinch hit for now? Or is she going to get to bat? She is going to get pinch hit for. And it will be Tristan Doster. Tristan Doster into the game to pinch hit for Jalen Adams. Bases loaded, nobody out. Iowa looking to add some insurance runs. This one misses upstairs, 1-0. Top of the order waits on deck in the form of Nia Carter. And this one is upstairs, and it's 2-0. The biggest difference in this game is how the teams have hit when they've had runners in scoring position. What has most often plagued the Hawkeyes all year, getting the hits in the big spots. And they've done it today. 4 for 7 with runners on base, compared to Maryland, who's just 1 for 13. The 2-0 is swung on and missed from Doster. 2 balls and 1 strike now. Doster in the game as the pinch hitter. And this one is outside, and it's now 3 balls and 1 strike. Courtney Weish is showing a little lack of command. And the 3-1 misses low for ball 4. Tristan Doster draws the walk and it's 4-1 Hawkeyes. Courtney Weiss walking in a run, the fourth run of the game for the Iowa team. And the bases are still loaded with nobody out, and now we're going to have a pitching change. Courtney Weiss is taken out of the game, and Trinity Schlotterbeck is back in. Will re-enter the game. Her fourth time re-entering the game to pitch. Bases loaded, nobody out. Nia Carter is the batter up. Carter, who is 1 for 3 today. A game in which we saw no runs were scored in the first 3 innings. Iowa went 3 up, 3 down in all 3 frames. The 2 Maryland pitchers were perfect after the first 9 outs. But ever since that happened, Iowa scored in 3 of the 4 innings. In what's become a much longer game time-wise. We're now over the 2-hour mark. Iowa leads at 4-1. Nia Carter's at the dish, is 1 for 3. But has scored twice. Here's a line drive, and it's past a diving left center fielder. It's going to roll to the wall. A couple of runs are going to score for the Hawkeyes, and they've blown this game wide open. The third runner is thrown out at the plate. Well, that's a 2-run double for Nia Carter, and the Hawks' lead is 6-1. Maryland was in that shift. But Nia Carter drops it in for the double. 94th hit of the season, most of all time for the Iowa Hawkeyes in a single year. Most hits in one season as an Iowa Hawkeye. It goes down as a 2-run double. And the Hawkeye offense has now blown up. Nia Carter stands on third. As here's a ground ball down the third base line, but foul. A 2-run double. Iowa lead is 6-1. They led it 1-0 in the fourth. Maryland tied things up in the bottom of the fifth, but now 5 straight runs for the Hawkeyes. Swing and a miss. And it's 1 ball and 2 strikes. Roman is 1 for 3. Singled on a weak ground ball into left field. And here's a ground ball, line drive back up the middle for a base hit. Another run's going to score. Iowa leads at 7-1 on the RBI single from Tatiana Roman. Hawkeyes have scored 4 runs in this inning. 2 runs in the 6th, 4 runs in the 7th. As we're going to see another pitching change as Iowa just continues to light up the 2 Maryland aces. We're going to take a quick break, and then we'll be right back to finish off this scoring affair in the top of the 7th inning. You're listening to Iowa Softball with Learfield.
We all love a good win, catching up with friends, saving money at the pump, soaking up the perfect Iowa day, sitting down to a really, really good meal. These are the everyday delights that make us smile. These are the moments that connect us all as Iowans. And these are the wins that, more often than not, Start with Iowa's farm families and the crop they're growing. Because when corn grows Iowa, Iowans win. Learn more about how to share your own wins at iowacorn.org/Iowans win.
The new pitcher is Kiara Booker, who is the closer for this Maryland team, a very rarely seen used closing role in college softball, or really in college diamond sports anyway. But Booker this season is one save shy of tying the all-time record. Out-saving the rest of the Big Ten by a long shot. Not a save situation now, but a spot in which she needs to keep her team as close as she can. Strike one on the changeup is taken by Tori Bennett. So we actually have some rule changes, not rule changes, but we have to backtrack just a second because that RBI single from Tatiana Roman was taken off the board as we were at our commercial break. It was deemed that she did not hit the ball legally, and it goes down as a strikeout. So instead of a 7-1 Hawkeye lead, they now lead it 6-1 instead. As Nia Carter is brought back to third base. Here's a ground ball up the middle. And Tori Bennett will drive in the 7th run of the game for Iowa. Nia Carter scores no matter what. Hawks lead at 7-1. So after they bring Tatiana Roman back and say that she officially will strike out swinging, as they said she hit the ball out of the batter's box. And now Denali Lecker is hit by the pitch. And now the Hawkeyes have 2 runners on with 2 outs. So what's been I use the word a lot, but chaotic, hectic, top of the 7th inning. Iowa scored 4 runs and lead at 7-1. Grace Baines is at the plate. Baines is 0 for 3. Tori Bennett's on second, Denali Lecker's on first. Ground ball back up the middle is gloved by the pitcher Booker, who throws to first in time for the out. But Maryland's got their work ahead of them as they trail 7-1. Iowa scored 4 runs on 4 hits in the top of the 7th inning and have blown this game wide open. Maryland needs 6 as we head to the bottom half of the 7th. Their last chance. You're listening to Iowa Softball with Learfield.
At Oak Knoll, our mission is to provide exceptional retirement living and health services through life care. I'm Steve Rowe, Executive Director. We are a not-for-profit life plan community and have served Iowa City for more than 55 years. Our team helps residents create home by living our values of caring, respect, enthusiasm, awareness, teamwork, and encouragement. If you're looking at retirement options, visit our website at oakknoll.com. We want you to lead life your way. Go Hawks!
Bottom of the 7th inning. It's a 6-run game as we're just about wrapped up. Jalen Adams is re-entering the game after getting pinch hit for last inning. And what was a 4-run 7th for the Hawkeyes. They now lead it 7-1, are just 3 outs away from advancing to the quarterfinals. We're going to have a pinch hitter to start out the 7th frame, and Sidney Lewis. He's going to be the one to do the job. Jalen Adams has gone all 6 innings thus far. Thrown 93 pitches. 94th pitch is a ball outside to the left-handed hitting Lewis. Maryland trails by 6. They trail by twice as many outs that they have remaining. As here's a fly ball in right field, right center. Nia Carter calls off Roman, and she makes the catch. And the Hawks are 2 outs away. Back to the top of the order, Megan McCamey. McCamey is 1 for 2. Has singled and walked. That single came as the first batter that came to the plate today for Maryland. She singled on a ground ball back up the middle. And she shows bunt, pulls back, but it hits her. She sprints over to first base. Jalen Adams shaking her head at herself for letting that one get away from her. She's 2 outs away from getting the complete game. Her 9th complete game of the year. Has gone 6 1/3, given up 3 hits in just the 1 run. Hasn't been a clean game defensively for either team. Iowa's made 3 errors in the field. Maryland's made a pair as well. Kylie Goff is 0 for 2. She was hit by a pitch, has popped up in foul territory, and had that ground ball to Avery Jackson where Jackson stepped on third. It was the play where Maryland scored their only run of the game. This fastball gets away from Adams as well, nearly hits Goff in the head. But she ducks out of the way. Counts 1-0. And Goff tries to check her swing, and she does. Does not go around. And it's now 2-0. Hawkeyes lead it by 6 in the bottom of the 7th inning. Northwestern waits tomorrow. Ground ball left side, fielded by Jackson. Throw to second for the force. The throw back to first is not in time. But the 5-4 fielder's choice cuts down the lead runner. And Maryland is down to their final out. Jada McFarland, their best offensive player, is 0 for 3. She's flied out twice and reached on an error. Needs to just find a way to pass the baton. Chases out of the zone on the fastball in her eyes. Count is 0-1. Jada McFarland, the Maryland center fielder, watches ball 1 outside from Jalen Adams. Jalen Adams, the freshman from Fort Dodge, looking to go the complete game and help Iowa stave off elimination. The 1-1. Change up, yanked foul. See a couple of fans right behind home plate for Iowa signaling emphatically that it's foul. Getting ready to explode is that when this Iowa team gets that final out. Are just 1 out away, 1 strike away from upsetting the Maryland Terrapins. The 1-2 is out of the zone. We'll get the theatrics going once more. Deuces are wild. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Iowa a strike away from winning round 1 of the Big Ten tournament. The 2-2 is swung on and missed for strike 3, and the Hawkeyes win it. Iowa wins by a final score of 7-1. Jalen Adams goes the complete game, getting hugs from her teammates. Iowa coaches are fist bumping as they stave off elimination and win their first game of the Big Ten tournament, their first quarterfinal appearance since 2018. Iowa Hawkeyes will be one of the last 8 teams playing. They get Northwestern in the second round, and we're going to take a quick break, and then we'll be back to talk about what we're going to see tomorrow. And we'll wrap things up with our post-game coverage. You've been listening to Iowa Softball on the Hawkeye Radio Network.
After a cancer diagnosis, it's natural to want to start treatment right away. But first, get a second opinion from a team that specializes in your cancer. I'm Dr. George Weiner, Director of University of Iowa Holden Comprehensive Cancer Center. Before you start treatment, you deserve to be confident you have the right diagnosis and know every option available to you. So whether it's with us or somewhere else, get a second opinion. It can change your care and your life.
Hi, Hawkeye fans. My name is Denali.
And I'm Briley, and we're members of your Iowa Hawkeye softball team.
Our team is striving to be number 1.
And that's why we trust our vehicles to Iowa City Tire and Service, the #1 automotive shop in Iowa City.
Where service actually comes first.
Iowa City Tire and Service, where their customers become friends because they treat you like family. Find them at 410 Kirkwood Avenue or online at ictire.com. Proud sponsors of Hawkeye softball.
We all love a good win. Catching up with friends, saving money at the pump, soaking up the perfect Iowa day, sitting down to a really, really good meal. These are the everyday delights that make us smile. These are the moments that connect us all as Iowans. And these are the wins that, more often than not, start with Iowa's farm families and the crop they're growing. Because when corn grows Iowa, Iowans win. Learn more about how to share your own wins at iowacorn.org/IowansWin.
At Oak Knoll, our mission is to provide exceptional retirement living and health services through life care. I'm Steve Rowe, Executive Director. We are a not-for-profit life plan community and have served Iowa City for more than 55 years. Our team helps residents create home by living our values of caring, respect, enthusiasm, awareness, teamwork, and encouragement. If you're looking at retirement options, visit our website at oakknoll.com. We want you to lead life your way. Go Hawks!
It's time for our post-game coverage of this game. Iowa wins it round 1 against the Maryland Terrapins of the Big Ten tournament by a final score of 7-1, scoring 6 runs over the last 2 innings. Iowa had gone 3 up, 3 down over the first 3, 9 up, 9 down. The Hawkeyes went down in order, and then to lead off the top of the 4th, Nia Carter pokes a single into left field. Eventually goes first to third on a single into center from Tori Bennett, and then Denali Lecker with a sacrifice fly puts the Hawkeyes on the board, gives them to 1-0 lead. Then in the bottom of the 5th inning, with the score still the same, the bases were loaded with 1 out when Maryland was at the plate. Hard ground ball to Avery Jackson over at third base, who fields it, steps on third, and then tries to throw home to get the double play. But the throw went high, and the tying run came around to score. So the score knotted up at 1 apiece. Then in the 6th inning, Nia Carter was around all the scoring as well. Reached on a defensive error, what would have been the second out of the inning. And then Tatiana Roman followed it up with a single. Tori Bennett then drives in what would eventually be the game-winning run. It was the go-ahead run at the time. The eventual game-winning run on the sacrifice fly gave the Hawks a 2-1 lead. Then Denali Lecker follows it up with an RBI double down the left field line. And then in the 7th inning, everything just broke loose. Things went into a tailspin for Maryland defensively. Iowa gets the win, scoring 2 runs in the 6th and 4 runs in the top of the 7th inning. In the big spot, Nia Carter breaks the all-time record, most hits in a single season for an Iowa Hawkeye. 94 hits this year. They get their 31st win of the season. It's their most wins in Iowa softball history. A program that has not seen all that much success throughout the years, but now have their most wins in program history, their 31st win of the year, in a 7-1 win over Maryland. We take a look at the final box score again. Nia Carter went 2 for 4, scored 3 times, had a pair of RBIs as well, on what was a 2-run double in the 7th inning. She takes over the all-time spot for most hits in a season. Tori Bennett also had a multi-hit day. She went 2 for 3, had a pair of RBIs as well. Denali Lecker drove in 2. 1 on the sacrifice fly, 1 on that double. Hawkeyes had 8 hits on the day. Jalen Adams in the circle was beautiful. She went the complete game, her 9th complete game of the year. Went 7 full innings, giving up 1 run on just 3 hits. She walked 2, hit 1, and also struck out 2, including the final out. As the Hawkeyes win 7-1, they will play again tomorrow. A quarterfinal matchup against the top-ranked Northwestern Wildcats. It's a Northwestern team that wrapped up the Big Ten just a week ago. And it's a Northwestern team that Iowa has played already this year. Northwestern took 2 of 3 against the Hawkeyes in Iowa City, in what was Iowa's only their 3rd series of Big Ten play. But just like what happened against Maryland, Northwestern took the first 2 of the series. But then in Game 3, Iowa walked them off. So if you're looking for patterns, one could point the same way. They play tomorrow at 4:30, Champaign, Illinois, as always. Game will be on the Big Ten Network, or you can listen to it here with me live on the Hawkeye Radio Network with Learfield. But that's just going to about do it for our post-game coverage. Again, final score, Iowa Hawkeyes 7, Maryland Terrapins 1. We thank you, as always, for listening to this edition of Iowa Softball. Hi, everybody. I'm Lucas Strain. Wherever you may be, we thank you for listening, and have a good night, everybody. And as always, go Hawks.
Iowa Hawkeye Softball has been brought to you by Homewood and Home 2 Suites, preferred hotel of the Hawkeye Radio Network, Iowa's corn farmers of the Iowa Corn Growers Association, and the Iowa Corn Promotion Board. When corn grows Iowa, Iowans win. Oak Knoll, an active life care community. University of Iowa Healthcare, changing medicine, changing lives. Wimmer's Meats, the official hot dog of the Hawkeyes. And by Iowa City Tire and Service, a proud supporter of Hawkeye softball. Iowa City Tire, where service actually comes first. The preceding has been a Learfield presentation on the Hawkeye Sports Network.